And we're live on air now. Okay, it's Martin here. The second meeting of the BluAcro group, cloud consultants working at Ealing Hampshire West London College on Google and Chromium project. It's expanded in terms of its scope and the number of people in fact this week. So what we'll do is we'll start briefly with Akashan, who'll introduce himself and what we did last week. Akshan, go ahead.
Yeah, last week we did use of Google in education. Basically, like how does Google help the education? And we made social media, Facebook, Twitter, also blogs. We posted what we're doing every day. Yeah, that's what we did last week.
Mashin, yeah, there's quite a lot of work. You haven't done justice to all the work you've done. It's been very good. Very impressed. And you're getting a chance to do all the things that education generally tries to stop you doing. Social media and stuff like that. Okay, Clifford. On screen now. There we go. Clifford's on screen now. What did you start at the end of last week and this week and yesterday? What have you been working on with the group?
Well, yesterday we've been working on setting up a couple of computers in the Learning Center, and we've been installing a Chromium OS into them. So for the students to have a little taster at it in the future.
That's really good. I'm looking forward to that. We're in the middle of something quite big here. And as I said, the scope for the project has grown, because initially Chromium wasn't even in the project brief when we started in the first week. And thanks to Darren, who's going to talk in a little, that's probably the main part of the project now. And the project personnel have increased. On screen now is Jan and Amit. Jan joined on Monday. What happened on your first day, Jan? Jan.
On Monday, we met with Oliver from Google, who introduced us to Chromium OS and define what is the difference from Chromium OS and the Chrome OS. And also, I was given my Chromebook Dell last Monday, but unfortunately it was faulty, and then we had to use an old Samsung laptop, NC10, and then install the Chromium OS to test it out for the week.
That was good. If I had my way, that's the way it would be. In fact, because we didn't know we were going to do Chromium at the beginning, I think if I knew that, we would have just been all of you with an old laptop and said, install Chromium, build your tools and work with it. So that was a good start. I quite like that. In fact, I used one of those netbooks for about 4 years to do my job. The only reason I shifted from it to use an Apple Mac in the end was because I couldn't do Hangouts on the CPU wasn't connected to the Hangout. So I'd be interested to see what your netbook's like to do a Hangout later. But your phone's probably more powerful. And Amit, he's going to join us. He's got excited by the project. Amit, introduce yourself.
Well, you all know my name, and what do I say?
Why are you interested in doing this?
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing where this can go. To be honest, I don't know much about Chromium, to be honest, and I've done a little bit of research into the Chrome OS itself. I want to see where it can go with the school itself, and then how much further it can be taken off of that. That's my main aim.
That's cool. What are you working on Saturday, by the way? That's oh, something's going on there. Okay. What are you working on Saturday? What's your project?
Oh, we are going to Tech City, which is on Old Street. We were invited to present one of the projects that we did, I think, a few months ago. It's called the Pi Car. It's a Raspberry Pi that can be controlled through. Yeah, bring it here.
All right, gotcha. I thought
it can be controlled through keyboard commands in order to turn, in order to move at a certain speed, and things like that. We're trying to get the same thing working with the Arduino at the moment, but going to take a while because it uses a bit more of a complicated sort of programming language. Yeah, that's the bulk of what we're doing, and we're trying to make a few modifications to the current Raspberry Pi version to maybe control the amount of speed it puts into its movement and things like that. Yeah, that's the bulk of it. Yeah.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I think Darren we'll have to introduce them to Mirek. I think Mirek would be quite
No,
interesting.
I was just going to say that, Martin, actually, because Mirek's a bit of a whiz at the Adreno and knows quite a lot about it, and he's just giving me a bit of a funny look over there.
All right, and Darren, just describe briefly how you actually started in this. Oh,
Sorry, I missed. You just broke up there. What was that question,
all
Martin?
right, I'm having a breakdown. How did you start this Chromium project off? How did this all come about?
Do you know what? I don't actually know. I just kind of stumbled across it and kind of thought, yeah, what's going on? Because I knew that there was a whole bunch of guys that were sort of developing a sort of version of Chromium to run on just on general old Linux kind of based machines. But I never really kind of looked into it that much. And then recently, well, literally last week, I just thought, well, let me have a look and see what it's all about. And then just read a couple of blogs. Kind of just suddenly launched into downloading something, tried it out, thought, hang on, this seems to work quite well. Lots of glitches, but it was all right. And then, I've then got onto this newer kind of developer called Arnold the Bat, he's just putting stuff out daily. He's fixing bugs all the time, so it's kind of more and more the operating system's just it's getting more and more stable. The ones that we put on are actually a build from January, which were a multi-build, because originally I thought the drivers were taken from the machine. It was imaging, but it's not. The drivers are pre-packaged in the images. So there are different Chromium images, if you like, that you can burn onto a USB key, which I have one somewhere hiding here somewhere. So I basically I just put Chrome on this thing, and then literally we just get something like this, which is what Jan's got. Jan set it up actually, I think. Just that this is an old NC10 and it all runs very well, or seems to be, with the exception of Hangouts. And that's it. Kind of obviously you found out about it, kind of latched onto that with these guys, and away we're going with it. Really.
I'm hoping that next week we'll have some sessions in the staff common room. This is the sort of thing we're going to discuss next. Is how we approach this, because I think it's expanding faster than we thought it might.
Yeah, I am a little bit. The one thing I need to kind of nail down quite quickly. I was trying to have a look this morning before I had a meeting with Barbara, and I'm trying to find the command to do an auto logout, because at the moment you have to log out. It's fine if once you've logged out, that's fine, and when it comes on, it's a new user again. But we need to get that up and running, especially if it's going to sit in the learning centre. Otherwise, people are going to really hog it, which actually might not be a bad thing at first, because if they're new to it, it means they'll get a lot of experience using it quite quickly. But,
yeah, I've got this strange feeling that we might just leave Chromium machines around the college in certain places, maybe with some kind of imagery around them, just to have a go. Maybe we put one in the foyer area. Who knows? We just leave them around and have a go. See who turns up and has a shot at it. Clifford.
Yes.
How long did it take you to install Chromium onto those machines?
For me, it took me about 7 to 10 minutes.
Wow.
To install it.
To install it. That's incredible. I mean, sometimes it takes quite as exaggerating. It can sometimes take almost 7 to 10 minutes to boot a whole Windows machine up, get online, so you can install a whole operating system in 7 to 10 minutes. That's very impressive. That's very impressive. How have you found it? I'll ask Akshan. How have you found Chromium to use?
Yeah, it was good.
It's good. How does it compare with the Chromos that you've got on laptops?
I think it's nearly the same, actually. Everything, yeah, everything is the same. Chrome and Chromium.
Okay, yeah, I think this is what maybe we get. Hopefully, Oliver might be able to join us at some future meeting to describe the difference. But I wasn't aware of it until Oliver. I was mistakenly calling Chromium Chromos, and he corrected me. That Chromos is the gold code that has been kind of verified, certified for use of the hardware it runs on. Whereas Chromium is the open source wild version of it that's not officially, but it's interesting to me that if you think of Windows, for example, reinstall Windows from Microsoft onto different hardware. There's a good driver ecosystem, but we can install it onto a range of equipment. At the moment, Chromium is like that, but it's not officially supported by Google. But Chrome is the officially supported version. I'm very interested in Chromium, the open source project, because we can install it onto other equipment, particularly older equipment. It's got a lot of advantages, like environmental advantage. That instead of these machines, maybe eventually, or they don't go to landfill anymore, but eventually be going for dismantling, etc. like that. And the transport and costs of that, we can extend their life by calling this what you might regard as a low-fat operating system. As Akshan says, or as Clifford said there, it was installed in 7 to 9 minutes or so, and that's a fairly old machine. That's incredible, and it runs a lot faster on old equipment than Windows 8 would, for example. I'm saying to Oliver on Monday, the old saying in the Windows world, what the hardware doth give, the software doth take away. So, later versions of software are so much more resource hungry that you need to keep on this treadmill of upgrading and get faster and faster processors, more and more RAM, whereas these sort of operating systems like Linux or like Chromium, they can run on machines that we would use now, and the cost benefits, etc. So this is why I think this project has really got some potential, especially as the finances in education get tighter and tighter. Perhaps I think this is going to be quite interesting. I think what I see almost is this. Thinking aloud, thinking on the feet here. This may be becoming like an open source project in a way. As new people join and others leave.
Sorry, Martin. Can I just interject as well with the NC10 that Jan's got? Actually, these were designed to run for Windows XP. So that's what it basically says on the back. So to let you know how old this machine is, it's not a Vista machine or a Windows 7 machine. So that just to add to what you were saying, this is a very old network, and it runs well.
Yeah, I can't remember. That was what I used when I switched from the Toshiba laptop. I used one of those for 2.5 years in NC10. I think that was 2008. I'm not sure if that's true.
Something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around 2008 we bought them. I think. I'm not sure if it was any sooner. And what you're saying, again, it fits in with the XP conundrum. There's a lot of old machines still around with XP on. We've got to get off. Got to buy a new. But we could put Chromium on there. That's a good point, Darren. I like that. Okay, well, I think we could wrap it up there now. I've talked enough. I think the next online meeting we'll have on Friday. They'd be quite interesting. But I think they'll be an even more interesting one next week when we see how we progress in this. But does anybody want to say any last words? No, sounds like
can I just say just briefly as well, guys? From what Martin was saying earlier, on Monday morning, we'll get a couple of machines, and I need to try and find them today. We'll get a couple of machines, and we'll set those up in the staff common room. Say 10 o'clock.
Yep, 10 o'clock's fine.
Yeah. Cool.
Great.
Meet in the staff common room at 10 o'clock. Students would like that as well. So students meet in the staff common room at 10 o'clock. We'll talk a little bit after the meeting about some of the work we need to do this week to prepare for that. BluAcro people. The supporting materials, publicity and stuff like that. Okay, but okay, that's it. So thank you for attending. The interesting thing is that I'm home. I'm on bed, but I'm not actually in bed. But you know, you can hear. Darren, who's on screen. Amit and Jan, they're in the college. Those three are in the college. Darren's in the text workroom. Amit and Jan are in the classroom. But originally they started before we started recording on a smartphone in the reception of the college. I thought that was impressive. And
God.
Akshan and Clifford are in West London. So again, it's a nice chatty thing. You know, you don't all have to be in college. You can do this stuff remotely. So I'm impressed that Akshan, Amit and Jan are actually in college to work on their Raspberry Pi project. But maybe we can work remotely next week a bit. But okay, so over and out. I'll stop the broadcast.
Okay,